Hi everyone, Emily here, and Happy New Year's. So I'm filming this today on New Year's Day. I am not, I've been out of the shower for like an hour, um, and I toyed with drying my hair, but it's winter and I have fine wavy hair, so heat damages it, and it's winter, it's dry, so it's more prone to damage. So sorry, you've got wet hair that you've got to look at. Because it needs to dry, but we got to protect the hair. At any rate, today I am here to go over the three, four books that I read in December and one book I DNF'd. So December was kind of a slow reading month um, because I was struggling to get a groove in with Rhythm of War. Um, and I'm now on page, sorry, it's next to me on the couch here. I'm now on page 342. So I've gotten into the groove. Um, so there's that. And then, December, it's the holidays. As a teacher, teaching high school special education, I've got students I got to get finals prepped. I had some IEPs that I had to write. So it was a busy month. So not a lot of reading done because I got home from work and I was just like, I just want to scroll on YouTube and watch organizing videos. And I've really found like a love for watching um, like funny animal videos. Like parrots are like, they're just so adorable. So that's what I do to de-stress and not getting as much reading done. But here we go. So first I read The Cat Who Saw Red by Lillian Jackson Braun. This is a book 4 in the Cat Who series, and I would give this 2.5, 3 stars. Really what is making the series for me right now in the early books are the cats. The cats are just adorable and fun and smart. Um, the first 4 books were written in the 60s, and man, it shows. There's a lot of fat phobia in here, a lot of misogyny, and so I'm not really liking Cooler, our main character, all that much. So I'm hoping it picks up, but it is something nice to read. I like mysteries, and it's nice to have something shorter and fluffier to read. But this one follows him. He moves into this like artist colony, and he meets an old flame um, from like high school, post high school, and she disappears. Is she murdered? We don't know. Um, and so it follows that. Here's the other thing that why I'm not like Quillerin is not a very likable main character. Like he's overweight himself, but he'll like make very negative comments about women who are overweight, and then like he almost wants to have an affair with his old flame who's now married to someone else. Like just so I'm hoping he gets better as the series progresses. Um, then I read Highlander for the Holidays by Janet Chapman. And this one I would give 3 stars as well. So this follows Jessie Pringle, and she moves to a small town in Maine. She had spent the last 4 years recovering from a horrific attack that, like, someone attacked her in her home and also murdered her husband. And she had spent 4 years in rehabilitation, and is wanting a fresh start. So she moves to this home in Pine Creek, Maine, and meets, a Highlander there, and shenanigans ensue. And it sounds like that this is kind of like a series of standalone books, but they're kind of like interconnected. Um, the first one is like time travel. This one does not have time travel, but there is like a magical element to it, which is okay. Um, Sorry, my crown has been dental work is not fun. My crown has just been annoying me lately. But at any rate, it was okay. It was a fun read. Um, yeah, I will probably, this will go in my Pango shop. I took down my Pango shop for a little bit as I took everything because I just wanted it all out. And so I took everything to Half Price Books, got a good amount of money for it, in part because I sold all my complete Shakespeare. At any rate, I need to put my Pango store back up. But this will go in that. It wasn't a bad read. I enjoyed it. But I just know I'm not going to read it again. Then the next book I read was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I so enjoyed this book. Oh, it was so good. Clearly, I mean, it definitely has some very YA feels. I would say this series is probably the more new adult, only because just some of the, like, it's very clear, like Dorian, like in how he talks about women and about Selena. I'm like, I would claim that more as new adult and not YA. Um, but if you're not aware, this follows Selena. She is an assassin. And at the start of this book, she has been in the salt mines as a slave for a year now. And that's the longest anyone has lived and survived these salt mines. And she's pulled from the salt mines by Prince Dorian because his father, the king, is having this contest to find a champion. And Dorian is putting her up as the king's champion. We're never really told why he chose her and why he needs to win. But my guess is like, hey, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a reason later on in the series. But so she goes and she says, okay, I'll be the king's champion and I will work. If I win this contest, I will then work for the king for 4 years and then I want my freedom back. And things ensue. Now, I did notice something. I'm wondering, I need to take a look at the ACOTAR map. But this map and the ACOTAR map seem kind of similar to me. So I don't know. But I'm looking forward to continue on with the rest of the series. Crown of Midnight is up for January. The one thing that I did not like, okay, I wanted a little bit more of the magic in this, and I wanted a little bit more, but I understand why we're just beginning to delve into it. So I'm looking forward to reading more of that. And then I read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. Seems like everyone was reading it by Allie Carter. Seems like everyone was reading this when I was on live sprint on YouTube. I mean, it was a book of the month for December, so it makes sense. And I really did enjoy this. This is a rom-com mystery. And I thought it did a nice job of blending the mystery elements and the rom-com elements. And just both of their backstories were very interesting. And this is a book that, yeah, I would be more than happy to reread again during the holidays. I would give this 4 stars. And lastly, I DNF'd The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. And I DNF'd this at like page 200. So it wasn't like I DNF'd it pretty quickly. I tried, y'all. So I was supposed to read this for a virtual book club that I'm a part of. This is our December read. And it's a dark academia about Anne Stillwell. And she goes to New York. She's like studying medieval or Renaissance literature or art. And she gets pulled into the cloisters, which when like her fellowship falls through. So she gets pulled into the cloisters where the people that she's working with, they're studying this like tarot card and alchemy. And they're trying to complete this tarot deck. I never really by the time I even got to page 200, I still was kind of like, what is the big deal? Why is this so important, this tarot deck? I got to page 200 and I still wasn't sure. So, and I just didn't really care about any of the characters. And so I finally gave up. And I'm sorry, as I'm talking, like, a friend of mine is texting me, like, is this where you live? Is this where, because clearly she's wanting to send me something. So that's why I'm laughing. So sorry. What a mess this video was. And I don't edit. So here we are. So yeah, I just was like, I just don't care. And it took to page 200 for like a big event to happen that I should be like, oh my gosh, what happened? How did this happen? Who did this to this person? And I was just like, I don't really care. So why am I still reading this when I have other things that I want to read? And I'm trying to bring down my TBR. So why am I still reading this? So it was disappointing. The cover is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I wish I liked it. I did not. So that being said, I'm going to try to include my stats at the end of every video. So currently, I just updated everything into a spreadsheet. That's what I did last week. It's the first week of my winter break. So I printed out all my old spreadsheet with all my own books, printed that out, and I re-entered it into a new spreadsheet. It would have been easier to have copied and pasted. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that because some of the things that were in the old spreadsheet would not transfer over to the new spreadsheet and vice versa because of how things were formatted. It wasn't a simple copy and paste situation. So I'm glad I did that though, because I discovered there are a lot of books on the spreadsheet that I thought I deleted out of the spreadsheet that I already unhauled, and I did not. And I found a couple of books that I had entered in twice. So that being said, currently I own 735 books. Total read of those books, 261. So that means that unread, I have 474 books that I have not read yet. Or 64% of my library is unread. And I was looking at that and going, whew, that's a lot. How did that happen? It happened for a couple of reasons. One, like, I've been in school for a very long time. I got my master's, then I had to go back, get an endorsement, special ed. Then I went back and was working on a second master's. So I wasn't buying a whole lot of books. Like, I would buy here and there, but not a whole lot. And since 2021, I have not been in school. And so I've been buying books. And I found really good used book sales and just buying books. And I think another reason why it's really skewed toward the unread is because if I read a book and I'm like, I liked it, but not enough for me to want to keep it, I immediately get rid of it. So I'm constantly unhauling books. Like, I already have a good sized stack of books that I'm unhauling. And I went to Half Price Books at the very beginning of December, and I already have a good sized stack of books that I'm unhauling. So there is that. Like, I'm constantly unhauling books, and some of them are read, and so it skews numbers. But I'm going to try to stick to the stats because I do want my unread number to go down, and I want my total read number to go up. So we're going to do stats as a form of accountability. But at any rate, hope you all have a wonderful, happy New Year's, and let me know how your reading month was. Talk to you later. Bye.